If you're peeling back the layers of what it really means to be well, let's talk about one of the most overlooked foundations of health: water. Your body is made up of over 60 to 70% of water. Every cell, every thought, every emotion depends on proper hydration. And yet, most tap water today contains toxins and microplastics that burden the body instead of nourish it. This is why I love Kangen water by Enagic. Through a process called electrolysis, the machine creates high pH, antioxidant rich water that's rich in minerals like magnesium and calcium. It's designed to deeply hydrate your cells, like drinking fresh water from a mountain stream. The higher the pH settings support mineral density and cellular hydration, which directly impacts your energy, mental clarity, mood, and overall well-being. Here's a fun fact. Just a 1% drop in hydration can increase symptoms of anxiety and low mood. Hydration isn't just physical, it's emotional and mental too. If we're serious about becoming fully human, fully embodied, and fully alive, we can't ignore the water we drink every single day. If this resonates, reach out. There's a link in the show notes to contact me directly. Your body and your nervous system will thank you. Welcome everyone to Peel the Onion. I'm Olivia Maxwell and I'm so honored to have Bianca Spears online today. Bianca is a thought leader shaking up the coaching and facilitation world in a very playful way. She blends neuroscience, coaching, and psychology with a whole lot of laughter in a science-backed method called
The NeuroPLAYstic Way.
Thank you. Through her facilitated training and private business mentoring, Bianca helps leaders, coaches, and facilitators grow their impact. She attracts clients and transformational sessions, all while having fun. So please welcome Bianca. Thank you for
Thank you
coming.
for having me. Yeah, I'm so excited.
And it's very serendipitous how we met and how this has all fallen into place. So I
Totally.
really want to dive into your story and specifically when that calling landed that you were able to choose your life, your work, where you live, what you do. Let's go straight in, peeling
Let's
back the
get into
layers.
big questions. We are getting into the onion. Uh, yeah, I moved to Sydney in 2013, and up until that point, I was in my 20s. I was, traveling a lot and all that kind of thing. But I had just before I moved to Sydney dipped my toe into personal development work and living from your heart and all of that kind of mentality.
Mm.
So I came to Sydney and I was like, I'm going to go live from my passions and live from my heart, whatever that looks like, whatever that means. So I dabbled in a few different things, a little bit of network marketing. I did a course in photography because I was really interested in travel journalism and photojournalism. So many different things. And what I really loved when I was working in the network marketing, I was working with health and nutrition products, helping people to achieve their goals. And
Mm.
my sister and a couple of other people were like, you should be a coach. Like, you love helping people, you're good at listening, all that kind of thing. So my journey ended up going in that direction. I started a business before I'd even started training as a coach
Mm.
and really just diving in. And I do love helping people. I do love seeing people inch forward or leap forward, however it happens, and
Mm.
knowing how they change in one area and that just ripples out into so many other areas.
Mm.
And so, in my little moving to Sydney, deciding to live from my heart, doing some courses and things that interested me, I
Mm.
also trained in laughter yoga, which I had wanted to train in for so long. And for those listening who are like, what? What is laughter yoga?
Mm.
It's a methodology
Unreal.
that a modality that allows us to leverage the power of laughter for our own well-being, to
Mm,
laugh for the health of it. So it involves laughter, it involves breath, it involves
mm,
some light stretching and movement. And when I found it way back in 2008 or 2009, I did a workplace session. I was like, this is the best thing ever. This is what adults need. They need to play,
mm,
they need to laugh, they need to enjoy. Because I was in corporate and I was like, I was in a
mm,
radio station. It was pretty fun, but I was like, adult life is serious, right? And we need to shake it
mm,
up.
mm.
So I don't know if I've answered all of your question or if there's more to come.
That's it. Thank you for
I
coming
think,
on. Bye.
yeah, I think I found my groove when I started blending the two worlds. So bringing in
Mm,
laughter and play and bringing in coaching and support and transformation.
mm,
And then a little further down the track, starting to learn more about neuroscience and nervous system regulation and how they play into transformation. Our
mm,
nervous system regulation is just so important for being able to help anyone to move forward, because a dysregulated client is just going to loop on their same old survival patterns. And you're going
mm,
to find it really hard as a coach to help them to move forward without them flipping back again.
mm. I'm loving all of what you're sharing, those layers of being human, right? And you being guided sounds very naturally by your life, by yourself, to blend what's helped you as well. Would you say that your burnout that you experienced, was it around COVID time? Was part of that?
Yeah.
Remembering of how important regulation is? Mm,
Yeah. So prior to that, I had talked about survival mode and I taught
mm,
about it in my work. But I didn't fully understand that we could get stuck in something called the chronic stress loop or limbic system impairment, which is where
mm,
brain and body are just firing warning signals to each other all of the time and looping
mm,
around, and we're kind of stuck there. We can't click out. So you might relate to this if you're listening. If you're someone who doesn't know how to wind down, doesn't know how to relax, cannot stop.
mm,
That was definitely me living a go, go, go life. In
mm,
2021, my son was like 2.
mm,
I hit a point where I had just started working with a lady on a program for brain retrainers to help them to regulate their nervous system, rewire their brain to come into a space of safety in their body so that
mm,
they heal and repair through chronic illness, autoimmune conditions, and that kind of thing. So we were working on a program behind the scenes. She was posting on Instagram about, what dysregulation is and all of that kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God, that is me. Like waking up
mm,
in the middle of the night, at
mhm,
between 2 and 4 a.m., um, feeling completely overwhelmed by like the tiniest little things that you would think are normal on a to-do list,
mm,
um, all those kinds of things. And then I realized there's so much more to the nervous system that I didn't understand. And
mm,
so that was really cool to have her there because she runs a base level program different to what we were working on together. So I dove into that and started to really work deeper with my own nervous system.
mm,
Naturally, we were already collaborating, but then bringing like laughter and play into that, because I'd already started to merge a little smidgen of neuroscience into the laughter and the coaching.
mm,
And I got to really weave it in at a deeper level through creating Elevate alongside Lindsay, who runs Vital Side.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. I completely resonate with your story and that inability to shut off that loop. I call it too in my work of constantly, for me, it was the self-judgment and the criticism, being hard on myself, doubting myself, questioning everything. And that's that fight or flight in the nervous system, right? I even caught myself in that fawn response, which is the people pleasing or avoiding conflict as a way of keeping the peace. I did a lot of that in my early years in life. So then when I was in corporate full-time consulting as a consultant, which, is long hours, there's deadlines constantly, there's no break. I'm getting goosebumps now, but reliving that memory of how stuck I was in my head. And I tried so much. I'm very much into fitness. I'd train in our gym in the garage. This was during COVID. I'd connect with people as much as I can, those who lifted me up. All those foundations, which I always touch on with my clients, ensuring the baseline of, the connections there, exercise, hydration, diet, all these things were ticked off for me. I was meditating as well. But after doing all of these things, even after my meditation, I would come back, sit at my desk, and boom, the loop would come back internally saying, you're not good enough, you've got to do more, you've got to prove yourself. And there's so many layers to it, right? Particularly those who are in corporate jobs who are tuning in. There's a layer of, is that job aligned to you? Is it really lighting you up? Yes, you may love the work. I loved my work as a consultant. I was reaching many businesses, big and small, facilitating, changing lives through mental health and well-being, right? Teaching programs too. But the trade-off wasn't worth it in the end because I was constantly getting sick. My adrenals were constantly firing. I leveraged all the natural remedies that I normally do, herbalism, vitamins, but still something needed to shift. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until I left. And then that's where my business idea came in. Once I created that space to go rested, I gave myself, I think, a month before I started doing other type of psychology work in my own way as a contractor. But that removing of the toxicity of what wasn't aligned to me, what wasn't fully lighting my heart and soul up. I was good at it, but it wasn't something that was also nourishing me. And that
Mhm.
sustainability factor. So one on that note, do you notice clients who perhaps are in roles that are causing them to be in that loop, but it's other patterns that are making them stuck versus the job itself? What have you noticed?
Yeah, I work mostly with entrepreneurs,
Mm,
and I really resonate with what you said there because I felt exactly the same. I felt like I love my job, I love my work, but it was
mm,
just the fact that I would get up in the morning and I would just go. And yes,
mm,
there's definitely mental stuff to do with that. And I would like hit the bed at the end of the day. And again, I had a 2-year-old,
mm,
and it was just my partner was like, yeah, you just like never stop. You're just always going, doing
mm,
something.
mhm.
Um, so that was a big part for
Yeah.
me. And then there's this like type A personality that plays into these, that like ends up in
Mm.
these burnt out spaces because
Tell
of
me
stress.
about the type A. Yeah, who's that?
Well, like can have perfectionistic tendencies, right? You're like, oh. Uh, always like striving and pushing and that kind of thing. And yeah, just very like particular and anal about certain things, like just wanting to get everything perfect or right. Um,
Ah,
and so it's typically those kind of people and or people who have the tendency to be caretakers and taking care of everyone else around them, but
mm,
not filling up their own cup, who
mhm,
end up like, again, having now worked in the space with people with autoimmune conditions and chronic illness and read a lot about it and listened to podcasts and watched documentaries, they're the people who end up with these kind of symptoms where they're or conditions
mm,
where they've just burned their wick all the way down by giving to everybody else. And
mm,
so to your question, like, do I see people who are not, maybe not aligned or maybe burning out and looping in patterns?
mm,
There's definitely a survival uh, pattern. I know the one that I still work on is like the procrastination, like a freeze mode type thing. where it's
Mm.
comes all overwhelming, I've got a lot to do, and then I just freeze and kind of do nothing, which is not helpful in business because you need to do whatever you're doing, especially if you're launching or getting something out there.
Mm.
Um, so that's the pattern that I work with at the moment, and we all have our own, and they're going to crop up from time to time. I think it's
Mhm.
about understanding those patterns and the mental
Mm.
chatter that comes with them, which is what you mentioned before, which is so important too. Like that self-criticism can be so
Mhm.
loud, so hard, so
Mhm.
dominant that it's just going all the time. And it's like if you
Mm.
can't give yourself a break and you can't do anything right by in your own eyes, you're going to have a really hard time and you're not going to enjoy it. So you
Mm.
might love your work, but if you're constantly running yourself into the ground, giving to everybody else, and then beating yourself up really hard, you're not going to enjoy it and you're going to end up burnt
But
out.
more so, like, what's the point of being alive? If that's
Yeah.
like, sorry, that's what I realized. I was like, what? What? Like, this is not why I've come here on earth
Mhm.
to live a life where I'm constantly pleasing others and overdoing and getting
Mhm.
sick. Cool, I love my job, but that was the realization of I need to draw a line here. And I feel like in our culture, there's this. uh, I have hope that it is fizzling out, and I love to hear your perspective on it. But the expectation of the do more, be more, particularly as business owners, there's always something to learn, right? But it's that churning, it's very masculine and it's not toxic, it's just masculine way of doing and being. That there's that high standard and show up all the time. So really removing yourself from that matrix, from that energy that is mainstream, yeah, it takes a lot sometimes
Mm.
to discern what's yours, what's not. It's a daily practice for me. And I notice if I'm not giving myself the time, like you said, for caretakers, I'm definitely that person, that type of person. I get worked up because I feel so much. I'm so sensitive.
Yeah.
So there are certain anchors that I draw on, like creating space for myself, nourishing myself, what brings me joy as much as I can first, whilst being a mother to a nearly 1-year-old. That's a whole other layer of challenge.
Yeah.
But when I don't do that, I'm not kind, really. I'm not my best version to my husband, to my daughter, to my family. And that's my mirror of, okay, Liv, you need to do less. Even though I'm highly ambitious, even though I love building my business, it's like, okay, priorities, discern, how's your nerve system, come back. But it's daily, and that, like I'm sharing this because part of being human isn't easy. The moment I said that being a human is actually hard, it's amazing, but it's hard at times. Felt like I dropped all this weight. And even though as I'm saying it now, it's reminding me of the harder weeks of, yeah, like let's give ourselves some compassion and credit for how we show up because it's not an easy path. It's not.
Mm.
But I'd love to hear how you feel and if any of my story resonates.
It does a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that acknowledgement that it's a practice is so important,
Mm.
and that
A dance. A dance.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's a dance. And I think there's a part, what I've realized more and more in the work that I've done and incorporating more somatic work and more embodied
Mm.
embodied work is that we can know a pattern. We can know it inside out. I've had people come into sessions. They know where it came from in their childhood, how it plays out in their life, what it keeps them stuck in.
Mm.
But until they get into their body with it,
Mhm.
understand it, build a different relationship with it, it's they can't quite shift it. They can be aware of
Mhm.
it. They're like, oh, I'm in this pattern again. They can try and like mindset themselves out of it or action themselves out
Mhm.
of it. But until it becomes an embodied thing, and then you
Mhm.
can embody the new habits, the new practices,
Mm.
and that takes time. Like rewiring the brain doesn't happen like that. Rewiring habits that we've been practicing for years doesn't happen in 1 second. We can create a shift. We can definitely change relationship with it dramatically in one session or one moment or one practice. But we then need to follow through with that to create that new habit, that new identity, that new way of thinking, the new way of being, whatever it is. And it's probably all intertwined. In most cases, like nothing can separate out, right? So that's what I've found is really key too, because you mentioned society and you mentioned being a human. And I think being a human was probably not hard in the past. In a tribe where people are taking care of your kids with you, right? There's a village to raise the child. We're all gathering food together. We're all doing all the stuff together. In modern day society, we're trying to, especially as women, or whoever's the primary caretaker of the children, it's like, oh, you're also probably trying to earn money. You're also doing all of the caretaking by yourself while the other person's focused on earning money, and there's not necessarily grandparents or uncles or aunties or sisters or brothers or whatever around to help you. We're trying to do all of that, and I think that's the hard part. I think being a human out in nature is probably really my God, it's like I'm hungry, I'll go find some food, like all of this.
I mean, I'm sure they had their challenges.
For
It's
sure.
not that food was always available, But I agree 100%.
But I think the disconnect between what we think we need to do and how we think we need to be and live versus actually tuning into our bodies, that's a major disconnect in today's world as well, where we're not, unfortunately, we don't go to school and learn about our thoughts, our emotions, our internal world that's there every single day. We don't learn about it, so we don't know what to do with it, yet it's there all the time, day and night, day after day.
Really does start from way back. And then we can look at the lineage, which I speak to in my framework of work. What have your parents lived through and also transformed in terms of trauma and stress and their relationship to money, their relationship with others themselves? That was all modeled. And then we go 7 generations back. Your great grandmother. That's all within us. And that's where this somatic work that you do is so powerful. And also through breath work that I do, it's shifting the DNA level. Because you can understand, as you said, and I'm definitely that type of person to intellectualize. That was initially what I was doing in my burnt out years, just intellectualizing, but until I dropped more into my body through support from other professionals as a mirror. It's not that I was broken, it was more just mirroring back my magnificence because I had forgot how I can live fully and be regulated and be love. That's where I'm most happy, by being love. That I was able to shift a lot. And of course we have our days and it's still coming back, as we said, to that anchoring, that rooting.
People who are listening may be wondering about the laughter and play. Should I explain a little bit
I was
about
just about to say, can you talk us through your NeuroPLAYstic way? Did I say it right?
NeuroPLAYstic.
Playstick. For those listening, I had grommets as a kid and I had a speech therapist, so pronunciation of certain words is tricky. I hope you got a laugh out of that. But please, let's dive into your method, science-backed method.
So over the last 9 years, I've brought different elements together, as you mentioned at the start, and as I've sort of alluded to. So coming from a coaching background, having that laughter training. And then in 2017, I started to learn a little bit more about laughter, not from just the body. So laughter can help to reduce stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline in the body, boost feel-good chemicals like dopamine, which is known as the reward chemical. It's essential for motivation. Oxytocin, which is known as the love chemical or the bonding chemical. Serotonin, which is a mood stabilizer. Endorphins, which are known as the happy hormone. I knew all of that from laughter yoga, and then I trained in laughter wellness. It helps to oxygenate the body. There's so many benefits physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially from laughter itself. But in 2017, I started to learn a little bit more about using it from a guy who was previously known as Dave Berman. He's changed his name to Don Than, which is a Vietnamese name. He's an American living in Vietnam. He ran a course called Laughnosis, and that taught about conversational hypnotherapy, so something like NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, which is a methodology of, I don't know if it's technically therapy, kind of coaching, I guess, and laughter. And what he'd realized was laughter is one way to open up the brain into a trance state. When you can open up the brain into a trance state, you can plant information for positive change. You can work with the subconscious mind because it's much more open. You're bypassing what's called the conscious critical faculty, which is like the resistant part of your brain, or when I trained about it, I used to call it like the security guard in your brain that like fact checks who you are against your identity. Like, oh no, you want to earn that amount of money? No, we've never done that, so we're not doing that. No way. So when you aspire to do something new, there's that resistance. With laughter, we can like jump over the fence and start to work in the field of the subconscious mind and go, okay, like what seeds do we want to plant here in this field? So when I started learning that, I was like, oh, this is a secret thing. Like, I don't like to call it a secret weapon. It's a secret superpower, right? And it's laughter. It's right there. People can do it whenever they want to, but they don't get it. And even the people trained in laughter yoga, they don't understand what they could do with laughter. Like, they get it, and all like we laugh, and then we by default get all of these benefits in our bodies and brains and lives and our well-being, which is awesome. It really is. And also, if you're in the world of transformation, if you're obsessed with helping people like I am, like, oh, we can really use this. And so the more I've learned about laughter and play, the more I've used it for myself. I've used it to move through anxiety. Like when I started my business, I had like a full, I don't know, identity crisis. I'd come off the birth control pill, which is a whole nother thing, but talk about hormone imbalance. I was just so out of whack. I was like having like just more negative thoughts. There weren't dark thoughts or anything. I was just an extremely bubbly, positive person before. And then I was starting to have like doubtful thoughts that I wasn't used to. And I was like, is this me? Am I not actually as happy and positive as I'd always thought? And then I'm trying to run a new business in an industry I've never worked in before, you know, online, which was a new thing, like all of these different factors. And I tried a lot of different things at that time, and laughter was the thing that really, really helped me. And so I knew that laughter could cut through really deeply. And then when I did more and more work and started to really learn more about play, it's like, again, dropping out of the head into the body is so powerful. And play, if you look at it, it's the way we learn. You look at a kitten or you look at a baby animal of any kind, they play, they do rough and tumble, they like learning, they, you know, human babies like need to be saved from like walking off the edge of things or like whatever it is, because they're experimenting and exploring and they're imagining. And like, if we also look at imagination and how powerful our minds are, for manifesting and creating whatever we want in the world and whatever we don't want in the world if we focus on that enough.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
There's just so much within laughter and play that can help us to accelerate towards where we're wanting to go.
Oh, I want to jump in there because laughter yoga I've done before a few times, a few years ago, and I absolutely loved it. I left just on a high, as you said, all those hormones bouncing off, but also I felt, yeah, so expansive. And yeah, in the day to day, being a joyful person is definitely helpful. But I love your weaving in the gap that you notice with bringing it into spaces of healing beyond a classroom, actually one-to-one sessions or programs that you run with groups to rewire the brain very strategically and intentionally versus show up, here's a class, let's have a laugh, go back to your life. Like, let's break it down.
Yeah.
I
Let's
would love
break
for you. Sorry, you go.
yeah. Let's break it down like now, or you were going to say?
That was my next question. I'd love to hear your top 2 to 3, maybe 3 strategies that listeners can practice themselves that you use within your work.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of your program.
So one of my favorite ones that's not always easy if you haven't intentionally laughed before, but you can try and it will become easier and easier because it's a practice, is laughing with something that's usually stressful, upsetting, disappointing, quote unquote negative, because neurons that fire together wire together, which we spoke about when we met. So that means that basically when you think a thought or you're in a particular situation in life, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, all of those things that you associate with that thing, like, I don't know, let's say an ice cream. For some person, it might be like, oh, joy, delight, sweetness, love, like childhood, whatever it is. For someone else, it might be like dairy intolerance, toilet, like avoid, right? And all of these things fire off before we can even really consciously think about it. So those neurons fire together, they wire together. You've practiced all of those emotions and thoughts and feelings and sensations in your body again and again. Now they just come automatically. But neurons that fire out of sync lose their link. So if we take something like, let's go with the dairy intolerance to take something negative, and we break it. So instead of feeling fear and worry and rejection of the dairy or whatever it is, we choose to laugh with it. We're now creating a new experience with that idea, with that belief, all of the things surrounding it. So the practice is taking that thing that might be upsetting, stressful, disappointing, frustrating, worrying, and choosing to laugh around it. So a belief might be like, I cannot tolerate the dairy. And you might with that, I can't tolerate the dairy. And then you bring the next thought in. So you laugh, laugh, laugh. You might feel some resistance, which is normal because your neurons are usually firing completely different feelings off, not laughter, not smiling, not joy. You laugh with it a little, and then you bring in the next thought or idea. And it might be something like, I will crap my pants if I eat that. You can laugh with it instead of being scared. Laugh with it. You're not laughing at it. You're not laughing about it. You're choosing to be an alchemist, basically. You're changing the chemistry within your body to bring your system into safety, because laughter brings us out of stress into safety, into the parasympathetic. It brings our brain online because we're calm, we're relaxed, we're enjoying, and it changes that perception. Can you now go after laughing for 5 minutes and eat an ice cream? Not necessarily, but you've broken that fear pattern so that you can keep now working on that. And again, you can shift that relationship in very quickly in 5 minutes, then it's about the next practice that might take you forward to change the habits, the behaviors, etc. So that one's there. Laughing with something. Another one that I really love is I help clients to create like a parody song of the current story that they're living. So, you know,
let's do motherhood, because I did that in my early postpartum very naturally. It was a day where my daughter Violet, she was maybe 3 months old, but her relaxin in her body was still at a high. So after every feed, which I was feeding every hour max, she'd vomit, gag, like projectile, not gag, projectile vomit across the room. And there were some days where it was, maybe 6, 7 times a day. And I just remember this one day, and I still have the voice note, which I recorded myself singing so I could listen back and have a laugh. And I just needed to create a song about it because she had gagged everywhere. I had to change her again, screaming, constantly feeding. I was exhausted. I was up all night feeding. Just this constant cycle, then cleaning up all the vomit on the floor and repeat, and then trying to get her to sleep, but she'd throw up. So I made this song about a day in the life of Olivia. My baby's gagging from the moment she wakes up. And then I just kept going, and I sent it to my best mates. And we had a laugh about it. And there was no part of me that held any resentment or anger. It was just such surrender and acceptance from making it into a song. And I still sing through challenging feelings now in motherhood where I'm pushed. Like, okay. Instead of shouting, I'm like, let's get this out of the cupboard. So that helps. But I want to hear more the song that you'd create. Does that sound similar to what you do from my vomiting song of a baby?
It can diffuse the stress that you might have otherwise felt. It puts you back in the driver's seat. So it can be used in that way to diffuse. It can also be used to just like reframe. Like if you made it like, my favorite is like a crappy country and Western song. So like, again, like, it might be like, I can't earn whatever, $5,000 a month or whatever I'm working on with a client. And it might be like, oh, I could never earn $5,000 a month. That just ain't me, or whatever. Just to parody and make fun of those thoughts. Like have a little bit, again, changing the experience with them, but kind of making fun of them in a way. And then when I'm working privately with people, or I have done it in groups before, we then create an empowerment anthem. So like, what would you prefer to be thinking? What would you prefer to be saying or singing to yourself? And then like, that's one of my favorite things. I love making affirmative little, I call them mantra chants, or sometimes they're like got a little tune to them. And yeah, I really find that helpful, because then when we create a tune to it, we can also get it stuck in our heads. And then when we get it stuck in our heads, we're just going to sing it automatically. And then that's going to be the voice in our head, right? Like
and neurons that wire together.
That's it. If you walk around all day singing or like repeating and repeating this thing because it's stuck in your head, it will go forward. So like, yeah, it's really helpful.
What are your what's your perspective on beliefs? And before we dive into that, I want to share what I have been reflecting on with belief systems, and that's been through my clinical training with EMDR therapy when I worked as a psychologist. I still offer that as a service, but within that system, what I learned was, first the labeling of negative and positive beliefs, and identifying memories to those beliefs. What's negative let's say I'm not worthy of love, and typically events of childhood abuse or um, physical abuse, lack of safety comes from that belief stems from those experiences of trauma. And then within EMDR, we work to rewire without going into the story of the experience, without fully reliving it, but the vision, the memories there in the brain. So we're targeting where in the brain it sits, like a fly on a web. And then through eye movements, the bilateral stimulation of the brain, accessing the right and left hemispheres, we're opening up the nervous system to discharge that imprint of the trauma. And we check in through the body through that experience. It's very newer to the psychology world, where the psychotherapy comes in of the somatic, like where in your body do you feel it? If there's still a sting, if there's still a vividness in the vision, once we recheck, we constantly recheck the memory. And the aim is to reduce the vividness. So clients see it as more distant from when they first came in. Oh, it doesn't actually affect me anymore. Or it seems so far away when I ask to recall the target image, we call it. And then the last bit is the integration of the body, which I love of, okay, we're in your body, your tummy's still a bit tight. So then we'll keep doing the bilateral simulation of the eye movements or the tapping on the body to, again, discharge that remaining imprint. But back to my question around the beliefs. And my reflection of, in our life, we're constantly building our belief systems, and using laughter as a way of shifting them feels so effortless than clinically going in and, all these labels, and even trauma feeling so heavy and dense, but bringing in laughter, I'm just reflecting on that different angle. Not that one's better or worse, it's just how does that play out in a room with someone who has had significant trauma? Have you experienced if that's very different to someone who hasn't had a lot of childhood trauma growing up or not? That was a really big question, so let me know if I need to repeat it.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
very
No,
in the moment.
I think I've got it. So, like, is there? Well, there are a few elements. Like, how does it work with beliefs and laughter? We can talk
Yeah.
about that. And then, like, is there a difference with someone who's had a lot of trauma?
Versus someone who, has had a secure upbringing.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, with the laughter, what I was reminded of when you were speaking is the checking back in and seeing how, with the belief, how much distance or how different the relationship is with that the feeling that associated with that thing. So sometimes I'll do like just a pendulation. So similar to what I mentioned before, but we're just saying the belief and then we're laughing. And then I'm going to get you to say the belief again.
Yeah.
And then we're going to laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And then when you check in, sometimes after literally like 3 to 5 minutes, people are like, it's hard for them to recall the feeling that they had around that belief. I've had that thought many times during that exercise of like, oh, I can't really get myself to that point anymore. I can't feel the pain as deeply. I can't feel whatever it is, the shame, the guilt, the whatever it is. I can't really access it in the same way I could before. Because again, we've changed the chemistry and we've kind of like wired, like started to build a new pattern, new relationship.
So just to jump in,
Yeah.
do you notice even with yourself when you practice laughing with those beliefs rewiring, do you need to revisit it again if it comes up, or does it feel like it's completely discharged out of the body?
Depends on the scenario. So I'll try to nutshell this story because it can get pretty long. But my dad came visiting from interstate we had this rocking horse that we wanted to refurbish and change. And I was like, oh, this would be a cool project for me and Dad to do. The rocking horse had a pink saddle. My dad's a bit old school. I have a son. Why do you want this pink? Why are you going to blah, blah, blah? All this questions about the pink stuff. I'm like, just keep it. We'll repad the seat and we'll put the like pink vinyl stuff back over. Pink bridle. And I used to watch Black Beauty as a kid, which is like a horse show. And we were painting it black. And my dad used to like be like, oh yeah, Black Beauty. So we called it Black Beauty. Anyway, he decided, despite talking to me, despite talking to my partner, all these protests against the pink, he decided to throw away the fabric that we'd asked him to keep, which I found really rude, really disrespectful. But when I found out about it, I was like enraged, like literally enraged. My partner was like, in 8 years or whatever we'd been together at that point, he was like, I've never seen you that angry ever. Like you basically had steam coming out of your ears. I decided to take myself away and laugh, and I did not want to. I laughed freaking hard. I laughed. Did it in the moment. So I can recall that story now. I can think logically that was a shit thing to do. My dad did not raise me to disrespect what people have asked, to throw away their possessions. That's never what I would think one of my parents would do. That was a crap thing to do. I can think that, but I don't have any emotional charge around it because I did it in the moment. And it even surprised me because usually I was working retrospectively with myself or with clients on like revisiting something that's already there in the memory, already there in the body. I don't have a charge around that at all.
Oh,
So doing it in the moment, I didn't need to revisit. Doing it, okay, I laugh when I lose something on the computer. I might be writing a post or something, it goes, it's gone. I can't do anything about it. I can't get it back. I didn't have it copied. I laugh when I come to those scenarios because otherwise I will default to annoyed, frustrated, and I carry that through my day. So that one, yeah, I don't default. I do default to laughter, but that's like almost like a coping mechanism, right? It's like I don't default there because I think it's fun or happy. I default there because that's my choice of like, do I drag this through the rest of my day or not? When I'm frustrated and annoyed because I lost this thing that I have no control over, I can't get back.
I can just imagine your son seeing you do something that, and like most people would get so annoyed about, and you're just cracking up, laughing constantly. How beautiful! Like, what a way to raise a child, and it brings so much warmth to my heart. You know, that ripple.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I think 100%.
It is good for him to see that because he sees sometimes if I'm frustrated or whatever, and he'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm laughing. Or my partner, I'll laugh. We'll have an argument. He doesn't like that. I'll laugh and I'll like be ready to joke about it. He's not ready because he hasn't processed yet.
Yeah.
Well, he knows why I'm laughing. He knows full well why I'm laughing. But he's like, you know, when you're grumpy, sometimes if you're a stubborn person, which we can both be, he wants to stay in it a little bit, right? Doesn't want me to be like, I'm cool with it now.
You're anchoring yogic ancient wisdom in what you do, and I absolutely adore it. You know, monks, yogis, Buddhas, they would just laugh of everything, and that's to the theory of non-attachment, non-duality, and neutrality is being love. You know, it's not super high emotions, and yes, laughter can be that state for sure, but when you're applying it in the everyday and the pressures that we all feel in this modern world, I get goosebumps when neutralizing it to come back into harmony. And it's simple. Oh, I just love it so much because it's simple. And what you said about you can just apply it, you know, I love that I'm about to say this because I share that I do EMDR and I love EMDR and it has its purpose. However, I am someone who is a big advocate for strategies that are so powerful, not just as powerful, perhaps, with shifting things at home on your own. There are
Yeah.
always lines, like we said, having that mirror, that guide, as you and I both do in our work. There, we all need that. However,
Mm,
when there's another way, like your way of laughter and play, how amazing, how simple. Like,
yeah.
let's not complicate it. Give it a
Yeah.
crack before you think you need to do X, Y, Z and have this whole plan of transformation. Like, just give it a go and then take a step. That's what I love about it. It's like that presence of see how it goes. Yeah. Oh, wow, I feel much better. Awesome. Okay, carry on with my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. And then, yeah, having that person there can be really helpful too. Like, I had a session recently with
Yeah.
a coach, and I will share this because that, like, she's given me permission to share that, like, literal footage of what happened and everything. I'm not breaching confidentiality or anything here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But she went into something really shameful. And when we went into her body, she just wanted to close off and curl in and like hide. And she said one of the most powerful things was that I like acted out and moved with her, like just
Mm.
holding space for her to go through her process. We laughed with shame. And she was like, she said, like going into it, I didn't think we were going to get anywhere. And then and you said we were going to laugh with it. And I was like, no, we're not. And we did. And then I didn't expect it. Like she just
Mm.
didn't expect to be able to. And this is someone who's done like an embodied facilitator training. She's a coach. She's done a lot of work personally and then professionally. And she's like, I just did not expect that to happen. But I don't know if she could have gone and laughed with shame by herself,
Yeah.
you know? But yes,
Yeah.
definite things. If you can catch a thought and laugh with it,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love about it. Like what you were saying, it's empowering. You
Mm-hmm.
get choice back. You're back in the driver's seat. You get to
Mm.
choose. Like like in Buddhism, it's like, do I choose suffering or
Mm-hmm.
do I choose to be here and witness what's going on and choose love?
Mm. And again, it's applying it, yeah, in how you're showing up in every moment, but deciding is it the path of struggle and challenge? Because I've definitely been that person who, I know why, but needing things to be so difficult to then get to the other side. And yes, that is life. We do go through challenges. I'm not denying that. We all go through those initiations. I call them threshold crossings, which I love doing, well, helping people through that in my work. However, the choice is coming back to that moment of awareness and embodiment to then bring in that laughter, make a song about it, and shift it quite instantly to move into ease and grace, joy, for the fun of it. That's been my recent mantra. Why don't you build your business for the fun of it? Because, wow, being a mother and building a business is rather large. Holy crap, I've never done that before. But I'm choosing that versus, oh my God, I have to do this again, and oh, it's so hard, and I have no time in the day, all these things that keep me feeling sorry for myself like a victim. It only shrinks my radiance and health.
Yeah. And Violet gets to see you choose that for the fun of
Mm,
it and for the joy of it and
hmm
for the love of it.
mm, mm. And do you keep laughing until your body says yes? Like that's clear, that's enough, everything's light again versus tense? Is that your line for those listening
Yeah,
that you draw?
I feel it personally as like a click over, and I can hear
Mm,
it in clients laugh as well, because when you laugh at something that's upsetting, it's not your usual response. It's you have
mm.
to choose to laugh, and it's like like it's not natural at all, even for me, because it's not where my brain's wired with that particular topic.
Mm.
And then it comes more easy. And it might even, for me personally, and I've seen it happen with clients, it becomes funny. You start to see it, it's funny. Now you're like really getting there. And then you like, who cares? Like you break into that like happy hormone carefreeness. And then you're there. But you can feel it. The tension releases in your body. You can hear it in your laugh. The voice is even different. Yeah, so yes, I like to go to the point of clicking over for myself and with groups. So with groups, I will always limit where they're going with it. Like, let's not go 10 out of 10 rage or upset, because we've got a group and we've got a certain amount of time in a one-to-one session. We can just go wherever we need to go. There to support that. And yeah, it's good. And back to your question about the trauma.
Yeah.
I will touch on it lightly, because I will say that a lot of the time as a coach, I'm not always fully aware of everyone's trauma, because it's not a therapy session.
Yeah.
So I haven't always got all the background history to like assess who's shifting faster. But I will say that some people have a lot of trauma around laughter and play, being seen, being loud, standing out, being childish, especially generation or so older than us, because children were seen and not heard. You had to grow up, don't be involved with tomfoolery and all of these kind of things. And that goes way back. Like, I was listening to something on laughter and neuroscience just yesterday, and she was talking about in the Renaissance period how there was talk about like religiously, like, that Jesus never laughed because it was, inappropriate and not, just back then especially, they thought it was just a thing that kids do, and it's not serious, and you can't be taken seriously if you're going to laugh and play and all of that kind of thing.
Interesting.
And I'm glad, because I see a bit of a joyful, playful revolution starting to unfurl. And I think it's time that people realize that leaders are more empowered if they can play, they can be grateful, they can joke, they can laugh. Feel the more dynamic someone's emotional range is, and still being leader, still being embodied, that's super powerful. That is empowerment and leadership to me, not being fixed into like, well, I can lead in this way with my whip and tell people what to do. Like, that's
it's
not
working in synergy. Yeah. Amen, sister. Not sure how I felt about the Jesus never laughed. I disagree with that. I feel like being a human, we all
thing,
laugh.
right?
Yeah. It's one of the joys of being alive in this body, to laugh. I love food. That's another reason. So I make sure I enjoy a lot of good food. Being Italian Spanish, I was definitely blessed with the family I chose there. And dancing, I'd say dancing alongside of that, right? Such simple therapeutic ways of feeling free and me. And thank you for your distinction as well with the trauma. That's really beautiful to hear. Yeah, because there are always layers, and the deeper layers have certain practices that are most transformative for them. And I definitely see that with the EMDR therapy that I've received personally and do with clients myself. But from today, it feels like the tools in the toolkit, adding that laughter, making that a practice, right? Building that devotion to return to laughter even when big emotions come. Just goes hand in hand with that deeper inner work of trauma. So watch this space.
Lives
We have
laughter, dominate.
Yeah. I would love to end with an example that we can both laugh to, a common belief that you've noticed and that I've noticed in the last week or two, and let's laugh it out. How's that sound? I'll
Yeah,
hand it over to you.
a common belief that we've both noticed.
Yeah.
At the start of last week, I was really tired, and
Mm,
it's just my brain telling me that things aren't going well, that like I need to do more in preparation for the facilitator training that I'm running next month,
mm,
teaching the NeuroPLAYstic Way to coaches, to facilitators. And I'm like, I need to do more to get more people into it. So I don't know if you
mhm.
can relate to that. You seem to be a bit of a doer.
How do you pick that up? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
there we go with that.
do more, and tell me if this resonates, bring my psych hat in.
Mm-hmm.
That stems from, personally, the belief that I am not enough as I am. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm not good enough. Which one aligns most for you? I'm
Yeah,
not enough as I am, or I'm not good enough as I am.
not enough as I am. Yeah.
I'm not enough. Right. Not enough as I am. I'm not. So we'll sink into that in our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll let you guide with the laughter.
So just notice where that's coming up
Mm,
in your body,
mm,
that feeling of needing to do more, even
mm,
hearing not enough as I am. Just
mm.
sitting with that for a moment, knowing that we're going to change. And if you're here watching us, do it with us. Feel it in your body too, if you're listening in. Notice any tension, any tightness, any sensation that crops up through your body.
Mm,
You might give that a color. See the space that that's taken up within your body. And now we're going to say the beliefs that we most hear in our mental awareness. So, I
mm.
need to do more.
Oh, I need to follow. Sorry. I need to do more. I'm not enough as I am. I need
Not enough. I need to do more.
to. I need to do more. Not enough as I am.
Might
I'm
exit
not
out
enough as
a
I
bit of that frantic energy go. I need to do more.
am. I need to do more. I need to do more. I'm not enough as I am. Are you laughing? I'm not enough as I am. I'm not enough as I am. Not enough as I am. Do more, do more. I'm not
Do
enough
more,
as
do
I
more.
am.
Like a little robot. Do more, do more, do more.
Meep, meep, meep. I'm not enough as I am. Nope, I'm not. There's nothing that's good. Nothing. Uh,
Shake the shoulders or loosen in the body and just feel and experience a different color coming in, maybe with the laughter.
oh, I- is that when you stop too, when your cheeks hurt or your abs?
Yeah.
I'm not enough as I am. Meh, 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 meh.
Not enough.
Meow, meow, meow. Oh. Oh, I might have some unfollowers after this one. See how hearing out loony I am. You
More.
are. That's a good one. Uh,
Okay,
oh.
can I say it now?
Say it.
Yeah, I need to do more. I'm not enough as I am.
Need to do more. I'm not enough as I am.
Need more.
Nah, that feels really. light now. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely felt the like click.
Yeah.
My tension was across my chest a lot.
Mm.
A
Mine was shoulders.
sinking, disappointed feeling.
Oh,
Yeah, lighter.
yeah, the carrying in the shoulders of like needing to do more, but that's lighter now. Oh, thank you, dear sister.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Oh, what an honor to learn and play together this time and space we created. And for those tuning in to find Bianca and her amazing work that she's here to help change the world with and already is, you can feel it and see it. Please check out her links to her website, Instagram, YouTube channel. In the bio, she's got a wonderful facilitator program open at the moment. When's the close date for that? And yeah, who are you welcoming in just before we close?
Yeah, facilitator training is for anybody who holds space, really. So coaches, facilitators of workshops or retreats, if you're leading or teaching programs or anything like that.
Mhm.
Lots of leaders are very interested in jumping in as well. To really, learn the science behind the laughter, play, nervous system regulation, neuroplasticity, and a bit of coaching, and bring that in so that you can create a really transformative experience that goes deep but allows you and your clients to leave light. Yeah. Closing date 6th of July.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Beautiful. Thank you so much
Let's
for
laugh
diving
our
in with
way
me
out.
into the demo too. That was good.
You're
Really nice.
so welcome. Let's laugh our way out into lunch and sing. Thank you, beautiful. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Peel the Onion today. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.